So, hello everybody, and welcome to Shelter 2. Now, I'm actually recording the sound over top of the video, or after the video, because it wasn't recording properly when I initially started the video. So everything I'd been saying while I'd been playing, no longer there. So I'm gonna do my best to try and, basically make an after-the-fact audio for it. So this is the family tree. As you can see, this is not the first time that I've played the game. And you can probably tell from various generations what I'd been into at the time. That first line, for instance, Ellie is from The Last of Us, Nuna is of course from Never Alone, Lara is Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, and Anna is actually referenced to Anna DeWitt or Elizabeth Comstock from Bioshock Infinite. So then if you look down, you've got The 100, you've got Star Wars, you've got books and Greek and everything else. So the line of Kiravavi Bova Solda, those are the default names for your babies. That was the first, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. The first survival game I played. The rest of them had been set to standard, so I just left it with the default names. So I'd recently rewatched Legend of Korra, which is why all the names right now are from the last generation, are from Legend of Korra. So basically, yeah. So initially I had it turned on, but with the mountain DLC threats off. So those are the mountain predators, which are the hawk, the fox, the bear. I'd turn those off when I turn it on to survival because, fuck, they make it hard. They make it so hard. And it was the first playthrough I had for survival, so I kind of wanted to test it out. Yeah. So basically, I'm turning the mountain DLC threats on to make it a little more challenging, a little more interesting for anybody that happens to watch this video, because I'm pretty sure it's going to guarantee the death of at least one of my kittens. So basically now I'm going to choose which of my last litter are going to become the mother of the new litter. Actually, right now I'm probably talking about the names. You know, I did so well the first time when I thought I was recording. Like, everything I was saying was flowing nicely. It was all good. I didn't think I lagged too often. And then it gave me an issue anyway. The game crashed, basically, is what happened. Which is when I realized I had not been recording my voice at all. Yeah, so those are the different colors and fur patterns for each of the kittens from the last generation. So I'm going to pick Asami in a moment to be the mother for the new generation. So the black kitten. Normally, for all the other generations except for the first, I skipped straight to birth. I didn't bother playing this little beginning part again. But for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with Shelters 2, I'm going ahead and I'm playing the beginning as well. Basically, you just run away from the wolves, which is not as easy as I remembered it being, which you're going to see. So, Mother Lynx is pregnant and searching for a den, but the night is cold and fearsome predators have caught her scent. So the game is absolutely beautiful. Like, the art style in it, I absolutely love it. And here are the wolves, which are so horrifying in the game. And if you've watched any other Let's Plays of Shelter 2, then you probably know that that's usually where the first-time mothers will lose a kitten, is when they come across those wolves. So shift makes you run, space makes you jump. I thought as long as you were shifting, as long as you were running, pretty much you were safe. You'll see the wolf up in the corner there, you'll see them along the side. You'll see a little rabbit running ahead of you, which is interesting that they would add it in at all. But yeah, so I basically just ran and I didn't really jump, and, well, you'll see. The jumping apparently is important. So if you buy the game, play the game yourself, and I definitely recommend it. It's something you're gonna want to do. Oh, another bunny. See? And that's why. I almost wonder if that wasn't the first glitch that the game had, because, again, it crashed on me. Because I don't remember ever jumping. Like, the first time I did that, I'm pretty sure I just ran, and as long as you ran, you were good. But yeah, so maybe it was just because I was actually recording this particular generation that it felt like being like, nope, we're going to show them you're a shitty Lynx. We're going to show them just how bad you are at surviving in the wild. I hate the wolves in this game so much. I love wolves, don't get me wrong. Favorite animal, have been since I was a kid. But they scare the shit out of me in this game. They are so pretty, though. And you can see Asami's pregnant stomach. So that was me seeing if maybe I made a wrong turn. But yeah, so now I'm just paranoid jumping because, holy shit, how did that wolf catch me? Yeah, and here's when you actually need the jump to get up that little edge so that the wolves wouldn't be able to follow. If you've ever seen pictures or are familiar with lynx at all, their paws are so big. They're basically snowshoes that they have on their feet to help them hunt and get along in the winter. They're so cute looking. Like, it's ridiculous. That night, the stars whispered to Mother Lynx. Like, look at these colors. And she looks so friggin' pretty in the darkness. With the stars on her. In her pattern. The darkness doesn't really come up again. So it's only the beginning and the ending of the game that it goes dark and you get that spotlight effect on the Lynx. But like, look out here at the sky and everything. Like, this game is ridiculously pretty. Like, I don't know what it is about the watercolor collage kind of style it has going, but it is like my favorite thing. If the game was hyper realistic, it still would have been a great game and I still would have loved it and replayed a ton of it. But this art style is just perfect. Like, I feel like the game would lose something if it was realistic. Visually speaking, at least. I mean, otherwise the game is pretty realistic. But yeah, it's just, it is beautiful to play. So this is the den where she's obviously going to have her babies. Now, as I'd only ever had the one litter with the default names, I wondered if this being the first litter after, basically, they would give me different default names to go by. I know there was one litter after the default, but I honestly could not remember if the default names for the kittens had changed, because I changed them so quickly to the Legend of Korra character names. And I'll change these ones as well, because, again, the only reason that one litter I used the default for it was because it was my first round of the survival. And, I don't know, I just felt like it was appropriate to use the default names for that one. But yeah, so here's Asami and the 4 new kittens of the next generation for Shelter 2. We've got the 4 color sets, red, white, brown, and black. The black color set is very, very pretty. I've, of course, have generations where the mother is all of the different colors. The ones I tend to go back to the most are the orange and the black. So now I'm trying to decide what names to give them. If you're familiar at all with Critical Role, which is a bunch of voice actors who play D&D on, I was about to say on Steam, on live stream through Geek and Sundry and Twitch, they, I'm obsessed with it. Like, I absolutely love that series right now. So basically, I'm going to name all these kittens after characters in Critical Role. So Keyleth is named after the druid. Vex is the ranger. Vax is her twin brother, who's a rogue. And then Pike is the cleric. But Keyleth, Pike, and Vex are all girls. So I thought it was weird having the one name that was a male character. So I decided to give the brown kitten another female name and called her Zara after one of the recurring guest stars that appear on that series. Now I'm going to do my best to make the audio as smooth as possible, basically, to keep the commentary up and keep it making sense and keep it running smoothly over top of the video. It won't be as smooth as it would have been if I had have actually recorded properly when I was actually playing. She ventures into the vast open world, a land full of prey, to feed her starving family, who are not yet strong enough to leave their shelter and warmth. Yeah, here we go. So one of the things about survival mode is the predator sense you have, the scent power, basically, where the world goes gray and the prey comes up red to help you find it. It costs stamina. Like, you'll see that circle in the lower left-hand corner. A little chunk disappeared when I went into my predator sense. So that's one of the things that's affected by going on to survival mode. Another thing is she's not going to automatically go into stock, which is what I'm trying to do there. The game was glitching on me a little bit, and it didn't seem to be allowing me to maintain it. Here it seems to be back again. But yeah, so if you're not in survival, she automatically goes into a crouch and into stalking mode the second you get near any kind of prey creature. In survival mode, you need to actually trigger that, so you'll just walk up otherwise and scare them off that much sooner if you don't. Another thing another thing that the survival mode does differently is animals are faster, they have more stamina. There are less of them overall, so they're harder to hunt. I also have heard that it changes where they're found depending on the season and the map. Like, they have migratory routes that they'll follow depending on the time of year you're in. I haven't noticed that so much myself, but admittedly, one of the reasons why I have such a good track record with my generations is I play it very safe and very cautiously. Something that I'm trying to do different in this particular playthrough, again, to make it a little more interesting, and also to explore a few more areas of the map that maybe I didn't go into before because I was afraid of them or because I knew there was a threat there. For all the generations I've had, and here, like, it's spring already, that happened really quick, in my opinion. I seem to remember it taking longer on most of my other playthroughs. Like, I'd kill 2 rabbits or something before it would actually move to the spring. But yeah, I haven't really noticed too much about the migratory patterns of the prey creatures in these games. I'm definitely noticing right now, though, that there aren't a lot of rabbits around. That I'm gonna have to move a little further, basically, to find a second kill, and you have to feed the kittens 3 times before they actually get big enough to follow you outside the den. And you always have to be careful that they don't starve to death, because you need to feed them fairly frequently at fairly regular intervals to keep them colorful and to keep them healthy. Because another thing, if you've watched a lot of Let's Plays for this game at all, probably you noticed a lot of people who had a kitten that starved to death, or who had a kitten that almost starved to death. I haven't lost a kitten to that. I didn't point it out when I was going through my family tree, but in all the generations I've had, and there are 8 of them, I believe, I've only ever lost 2 kittens. One was in the woods when my sister told me to go in there, and something got a kitten. I don't even know what it was. I didn't see it. I have no idea what the hell happened. I got out of there as fast as I could, and one of the kittens did not follow me out. The second kitten I lost to a hawk after I got the mountain DLC. The hawk appeared in this map here, basically, and I was not expecting that. I had no idea what to do about it. I was hunting a rabbit, and I moved too far away from my kittens, so when I heard the hawk, basically by the time I got back to the kittens who were far behind me, I lost one of them. And it was very sad, and it's another reason why I turned off the mountain DLC enemies with the survival mode, because then they only appear if you're in the mountains, and they don't appear in any of the other maps. So right there, to try, because it's been a while since I've been back to my kittens, I dropped the rabbit carcass to grab that mole to give myself a little more stamina so I can potentially run back to the tree, because I don't know how long it takes before they start to starve to death. Yeah, right there I was going to go after that second rabbit, but I didn't drop and crouch in time and it ran first. So I'm going to try and grab this one instead. But I don't have the stamina for it, so I dropped that too. When you're hunting, if you do get this game, for any first-time Lynx moms out there, definitely piece of advice, commit to a single rabbit if you're chasing a group of them, because if you veer off target for somebody else that's running near you or for something that runs across, chances are you're going to miss them both. Happened to me, happens to a lot of the Let's Plays that I've seen online for this game. So definitely pick a rabbit, zero in, just friggin' commit to it. If you get another one after, great. Otherwise, yeah. So this rabbit just spawned like right next to the den, which is going to totally make up for how long it took me to grab that second rabbit. So this one would then make the kittens get bigger so that they can follow me out. So right now, one rabbit feeds all 4 of them. See, you actually saw them physically get bigger there. Now it's 1 rabbit per 2. So you need to catch 2 rabbits to feed all 4 of them. This screen is showing you trophies, basically, things that you can collect throughout the game. So you can tell from the 415 for the little rabbit skull in the upper left-hand corner, that is my primary food source. That is the thing that I hunt most frequently to feed my babies. On the far right on the upper side is a bird skull. Those guys I love to catch when I can, but you only really find them in the woods. Also in the mountains, but primarily in the woods is where I've been catching them. They'll feed 3 kittens at a time, so they're good. The deer, which were the middle, they feed all 4 at once. The upper left there is the friggin' fox. I hate those guys. They are so hard to catch. Easy to kill. They do feed all 4 babies if you manage to take them out. But they will stalk you, they will kill and eat your baby, and they are freaking hard to catch. Like, you need to make sure you yourself are well fed if you want to grab them. Because you're gonna have to chase them down, basically. There's no few seconds, veer to the left, you've got it. You've got to exhaust it. So more often than not, if you try to chase them, they get away because you run out of stamina. So you just stop running. And then they simply just turn around and start stalking your family again. I hate those guys. Yeah, so normally, as I said, I would avoid the winter place at all costs. The scent I just had up there. The multiple trees in the background were, of course, the forest, marking that area of the map. The giant snowflake marks the winter place, which is where the wolves are. Normally, well, not normally, but since I've been on survival mode, I have avoided the winter place as much as I can because I'm afraid of the wolves. And I'm not going to avoid it in this playthrough because, again, I want to make it a little more interesting. I want to explore areas that I haven't seen a lot of. In the past couple generations, I've stayed mostly in the woods and in the fields. So in this playthrough, I want to go through the winter place, and I'll also probably try and hit up the mountains as well. But yeah, I'm terrified of those wolves. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose a kitten in the winter place, which I only call the winter place because the symbol for it is a giant snowflake. But yeah. So with this, you can see the blood on the white and the brown one's mouths. They were the last ones fed. They're like, God damn it, the little brown one. So I'm trying to pick up the friggin' rabbit, and I can't do it, and now it's stuck. Because the easiest way to feed these guys is the 2 on the right and then the 2 on the left, and then you always know which 2 were the last to be fed, so long as you remember where you drop the rabbit. If you start dropping the rabbit in the middle, then it becomes harder to make sure that the ones on the end get fed properly, because they so rarely will be able to feed together. So it just makes it a little harder to manage who ate last and how much food each of them has gotten. So right now, the brown one has had a double feeding. The black one's had a feeding, the white one had a normal feeding, the orange one has at this point missed a feeding. So right now I'm trying to figure out who's next, and I made the wrong choice because that should have gone to the orange one, I'm pretty sure. So orange and brown got fed again. White and brown are fed. So black and orange really do need to be fed next, especially orange. So again, when I catch the little moles, I pretty much make sure I eat those just to give me that that stamina boost. The mole will feed one kitten, so if I'm in a pinch, I could definitely catch one to give to one of them. But they're easy to catch once you notice them, and they do pop up fairly frequently. So I feel pretty safe keeping those for myself, so that I've got the stamina to catch the rabbits to then give to the babies. I do like it if I can catch multiple, so I like doing that, basically, because then all 4 are fed in one go, and I know exactly who's eaten last, basically, that none of them are particularly hurting for food. Finding the little... What is a group of rabbits called? Finding a little warren of rabbits is the best way to go about it, because more often than not, a couple of them will break in the same direction, which makes it easier to grab one, drop it, grab the next, to feed all of them at the same time. So yeah, there's the big symbol that marks the winter area, or the wolf area, which is near a lake. There's a bunch of deer there as well, which is nice, but deer are very hard to catch. Similar to the fox, you need to make sure you've got a lot of stamina. So basically, I need to catch a rabbit and eat it myself before I even try for a deer, because you need to chase them down. It's not a matter of just catching up and taking them out. You've got to chase them down until they're exhausted. There are the kittens. So if I cry out at the cats, they'll cry out and they'll all run around me, which is important if they start to wander off, especially if the eagle comes, because it'll bring them to it. And see, there's a noise right now. I'm trying to figure out what the hell it is. And there's the fox. Oh, and here the video is breaking up a little. Oh no, there we go. So I don't have enough stamina, and I know I don't have enough stamina to catch it. I probably shouldn't have chased it as long as I did. So as you can see, the stupid thing, it just turned right around and it's coming right back again. And that's basically what it does, is it'll stalk me. And it'll get closer, and then when I try to go for a rabbit, forgetting it's behind me, it'll grab whichever one of my kittens is the furthest from me and just take off again. You do have a chance to catch up to it at that point to get your kitten back, but you don't want to get to that point. So here I think I've got him, but see, look how fucking fast the fox is. And this surprised me because I didn't think the fox would come out of the mountain. I knew that with the mountain predators turned on. Shit, see, and then I get stuck in the fucking bush. I had him too. He would have fed all 4 babies. He would have been out of my hair. But now he runs off because of the hawk. And now I'm panicking because I don't see the shadow and I don't know where it is. So I make a pretty big mistake here. I try to hide them under the bush, which is good. The bush or the tall grass. But I don't crouch. I stay standing, which apparently still makes me a target. Like, you see that? He took one of my kittens. He took one of my kittens there. So this is me panicking, thinking I've lost one, that it's dead, that's it, I'm a terrible mother. But then the 4th one comes up again. So I swear to God I saw that kitten in its claws. So maybe it grabbed it and dropped it. I did see myself rear up. Maybe I managed to hit it. Like, this is my 2nd time watching this technically, and I'm still not entirely sure what happened. But one thing I have noticed is once a predator hits you or tries to hit you, it tends to clear them off the map. Like, they don't, from what I've noticed, they don't come back. So yeah, at this point I'm turning up all of the volume because I had such a hard time hearing that fox, and I couldn't figure out if that's what I was hearing or not. So sound is definitely important in this game, because the fox does make very unique noises, and that is your only indication, basically, that he is suddenly behind you. The hawk was pretty loud, so didn't really need it up that high for him, but the fox was certainly freaking hard to hear. Especially since I'm speaking at the same time, so it's not like all of my attention is focused on just listening to what the game is trying to tell me. Yeah, so I recorded these videos at about an hour each, which is just a little long for a standard sitting, so I figured I would cut them each in half to make 4 videos of approximately 20 to 25 minutes each, instead of 2 just really long videos. So I'm going to cut part 1 there, and then we'll come back with part 2 soon. But yeah, so that's going to be it for today. I'll see you guys with the next video, so have a good one till then.